sanji saba program wala mbe sanji kilo la kono folo mamba so sai then there is no plan mbe men landino on se men fono sai pour ka foko ni sanji saba banta ñin be kala plan man tara je folo ndolla ma fa maybe ministry they may have it but ndolla ma fa we have no plan sign thing même se men kelo on se men fono mole ka foko ni ñin projet ko banta abe kala ñana so ñina mo koti lafta men senendia nabo huh? So maybe ministry may have something but at our end we don't have we don't have any plan because we are just in a 1 year
private school that would be lesson to learn because they are on private schools in Bangkok and in public schools na different soul dejele ni atara ni mu strategy I love to main spread roll out la nalia soto in one private school alba jelale wolle because some of them were more personal issues led didn't wol man na ñan tara school wa tola wo mo operational issue led teacher man tara je wo operational issue led so nalia ke private school albe lesson lan no la wotol thank you
at the school although we are in St. John's we are in Canadian. What about the private school also? Those are mission schools, but they are more closer to private than public. Yeah, but we are in these two schools.
Yeah, my experience assessment. Huh? As an expert in my area, private schools jamare be banku kam mem yalon education yalon wol manke dungulat. Where are you on but strategically, someone many enter la public school also. Ya assume ko a gente bete ala wolto but a manke o nyam. So now ya mira private school or bebe tama kan anyamal. It's wrong. Private school or bejere men ya wol public school or lebe nyato sinya kem. So intervention on yente futala otol alieni model full jube so that nga long because Gambia didn't know lebe school out. Okay.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. I think that's very important.
Yeah.
Okay. Comment quand même faut comment to bakele pour model ni samba private school also. But like community this is a pilot. So and it's a 3-year pilot program. After the 3 years, then if it is successful, it will be rolled out. So rolling it out, it might not only end at the public schools. Okay? But for now, it is a pilot and then we are trying to track the progress. After the 3 years, if it is successful, then it will be rolled out. But Kunalia the director of Memphis, even rolling it out, you don't just roll out to all the schools. It has to be in phases. Okay? So that is something very important for us to look at. And I think as a sector, there are plans in place whenever it is to be rolled out. Okay? The strategies are there, and I think there is a plan in place. And the issue of the sustainability is also something that they will factor. So what is important now is for us to put all hands on deck and ensure that the program is successful. Okay? So we will now call on the second presenter from INSET to give us her presentation. So we will now invite Madam Fatu Kebe to give us her presentation. Fatu, the floor is yours.
I want to be using the laptop, I don't know. Yes, the laptop, but you can show up so that they can see. Okay. Sorry. Yeah. Okay. Kon ñu continuer rek man maay Fat Kebe maa ngi nekk ci INSET unit bi waaye suma présentation bi dinaa laaka ci anglais laaka ci olof tam mais di try mandinka tuuti pour ngeen mën a gën a understand waaw. The assignment I am given is to deliver a presentation on the role that INSET did as far as MIS is concerned. As far as MIS is concerned, INSET has a very vital role to play in this program. And to start with the outlines, Baro. Yeah. To start with, we have a presentation outline that I will want to introduce and take you through so that you will understand our subsequent discussion that we are to do. We have introduction. I will take you through of the introduction of the important role that INSET plays as far as MIS is concerned. Professional development for foundational learning. You also have effective intervention strategies in school. Since we are absorbing what effectives are doing, we must have to show clear evidence on how we go about it in implementing those strategies. And we have training modalities. What modalities should we use to train teachers, head teachers, to make sure that they all participate in the progress of the MIS? Language rollout plan. You have policy alignment. What does the policy say to language rollout plan? Challenges and mitigation strategies. Role of INSET in Wolof language. Where does INSET stand as far as Wolof is concerned as the L1 of MIS? And then conclusion. Now to start with, to take you through the introduction, you have overview of foundational learning challenges in early grades. There are many challenges that schools face as far as foundational learning is concerned. Before the intervention of MIS, teachers are not well equipped. They are not well acquainted with what they are supposed to do. Students are not also performing as we expect them to perform as far as foundational learning is concerned. So looking at the necessities surrounding foundational learning, we deem it necessary to consider it, to plan a training for it so that we can equip teachers with the necessary skills to implement foundational learning to help students achieve their goals as far as academics is concerned. You have the importance of teacher capacity in implementing effective intervention strategies, capacitating teachers on what they are supposed to know, what they are supposed to do, how and where to do it. These are all things that we do as far as MIS is concerned as a unit. An introduction of INSET as a key player in professional development and policy rollout. Anything that has to do with professional development, capacity building, we as a unit make sure that we play our utmost best to see that teachers are capacitized to the best of their abilities to deliver what they are supposed to deliver, to achieve their academic goals within their classroom settings. Now to continue with, we have professional development. Where's Barrow? So that they will see. Yeah. Now to start with, we have professional development for foundational learning. What is the professional development guiding? What it is saying? The main target is literacy and numeracy teaching strategies. In every school, they learn literacy, they learn numeracy, but there are strategies surrounding how to learn that numeracy and literacy using the EI strategies. You don't just teach a student how to add numbers just like that. At least you must bring evidence based on what they are supposed to use to make sure that they get the results that you want them to achieve. You have diagnosis, assessments, and remediation. We diagnose assessment after assessment is done, like when teaching and learning has already taken place, assessment is done and everything. Instead, as a unit, we diagnose the assessment to see what are the lapses that schools are facing, what are the areas that they need to improve based on assessment information. We do that. And we give remediation on what they are supposed to do to solve those problems that they are facing. Use of L1, when we say L1 and L2, there are three things involved here. L1 is talking about the pilot national language that they are using, which is the Olaf, and L2 is talking about the English and the maths. That is why you have it in bracket here, Olaf and literacy and numeracy in early grade instruction. These are the main targeted, areas that students at the early grade should to start with to build their foundation. We talk about the Wolof here to support the English part, the L2 part. It doesn't necessarily mean that we are teaching them the whole of Wolof, like they are entirely learning Wolof, but they are using Wolof as a medium of instrument to help them to do what they are supposed to do in the English and maths. Now, before going to the strategies, let me just revise and maybe try in Mandinka. Okay, ntolle unito mi yalon ko ntolle responsibility teacher sol la training ka teacher sol makoy pour ka gal train ka make sure ne inyana ka minke class o kono gal ba ke kanne komin anyama. And then tolla unit mantara teacher sol damma train kanne nga teacher sol train ka ta fanan ka jibe fo nga min train teacher sol la foy ba ke kanne nyame foy mantara ke kan nyame fana. And then ni woketa nga ku fulale soto ñim programme to mi yalon ko wala ñan naka dindigo makoy pour ka karandiro ke wala mu ka L2 karang ka L1 karang ka L2 panan karang L1 ñim wala mu surwa ka ngo ñim mi yalon ko wala ñan naka gal makoy pour ka English nin max karang amanke ika surwa ka ngo damale karang school to ika wala use pour ka gal makoy ye English karang anin max panan karang say min training be keta ntol fana manya na filal mbukasi nka murumurun school to ka jibe fo teacher sol nga min train gale ibake kanne foy man tra ke kanne ntol fana responsibility pour ka assessment o nying dulal mi yalan ko problem ol bije akadi assessment ni gale karandiro ke foka pare resource sol fintita say problem jumale be keri mi yalan ko teacher sol ba face kanne nka wol fana jibe akadi assessment na pareta yana resource na fintida ikalong amari janna betiyata janna mam betiya so nka wo be jibe ni nga wo be jibe nka muru kotenke katika so kumandi ke ma koy dulal mi yalon ko ye problème o soto wolto isaje next time ni gal ba teaching continue ke kanne iba kela anyam. Yes. Comme lima wasi olof rek lima wasi English ak Mandinka ñun ñoo unit boo xamante ne ñun ñooy dooleel teachers yi pour xale mun a jànga so si unit dañooy dooleel teachers yi ñu nekk soo ne li ñu war a jàngale si at bi ñu ngi koo jàngale suñ leen trainalee ba pare dañ leen a fekka si seen school yi pour ñu seet ndax liñ leen trainal ndax ñu ngi koo def ndax defuñ ko su nekkee defuñ ko ñu wax leen lañ war a def because benn nit mutut mun naa am yeneen yoo xamante ne dañ koo bàyyi gannaaw so ñun ñooy ñëw pour assi leen waat on board pour ñu mën a xam li ñoo def. So su jàngale amee ba jàngale yëpp jeexal assessment yi ñoo def seen liggéey su gaay pare dañoo share resource ñun tam ñu seet yan jafe-jafe yi la teacher si nekk di jànkuwanteel xale itam yan problème lañ am si seen jàngam so bu loolu amee ñun dañoo jël note su ko defee su ñeneen training ñu war a ñëw ñu jéem a demaat si yooyu noonu seet school yi nii lii moo nekk seen problème teacher sangam lii moo nekk problème am so nañ try pour solve problème yooyu noonu so dañoo make sure ne problème yu gaay am dañoo delluwaat ñëwaat train leen su ko defee ñu mu gën a mun a am doole si li ñoo jàngal su ko defee xale yi understand liñ leen a jàngal so si training bi tamit ñaari yëf moo am ñaari yëf la ñoo jànga mooy olof bi olof baale naa dimbale pour ñu mun a jànga English and maths nekkul ne olof kese la ñoo jàngale dañoo use olof bi pour xale bi mun a dégg li nga wax su ko defee mu mun a def yow loo bëgga yow teacher bi mu mun a def loo bëgga so dangaa gis ne si olof bii nii ñu fa jàngal lu bare bare wane nañ fa ay aada am na aada yoo xamante ne ñun fàtte woon nañ ko sax moo tax suñ dee binda bugg yi dañoo asi loo xamante ni lu yàgg la loo xamante suñ maam yi ñu ngi ko daan jëfoo ñu andiwaat ko ci classroom setting parce que Gambia suñ aada waruñoo nangu mu dee war nañ koo andiwaat suñ xale yi tey ñu mun a xam lan la suñ maam yi daan jëfoo waaw soo moo tax olof bi ñëw pour mu dimbale ñu si lu bari su ko defee suñ maths bi ak suñ english bi gën a mun a baax balaa ñu move to the upper grade. Okay. So just to continue with, now to start with the strategies. The intervention strategies. Since as sector we agree that we are going to start using effective intervention strategies in our school system. Now these are what we are supposed to do as a sector to make sure that we achieve our strategies, the strategies that we are yearning for. NIS framework focus, the focus is on multi-dimensional. What we mean by multi-dimensional here is, as in the long run, many languages will come. Right now, the pilot is the Wolof as a national language. We will have the Mandinka, the Fula will come, the Sarahule, and the Jola, and Manjako. So that is why you have the multi-dimensional. It's going to be diverse. You not only have one language, but other languages also are to be part of it. And you have evidence-based. Whatever teaching and learning is taking place, there must be evidence-based to make sure that this is what you are expected to do. And by the end of the duration, this is what you are expected to achieve. You also have integrated, like what they are supposed to do, they should not dive anyway. It should be integrated in the school system. It should make sure that they are doing it on board. Because if you look at the MIS, the timetable that they are having is across all the regions that are piloted. If school A is doing this, know that the other schools also are doing this unanimously and consistently. That is what they are supposed to do. No deviation. Now you have sustainability. The main target here is to sustain it, because since it is a good practice, our wish is to make sure that we sustain it. By the time we go to other languages, sustainability is going to take place. To support also, we are going to support teachers, we are going to support head teachers, the communities, and so on. As far as this program is concerned, we will do our best to make sure that all the materials that are supposed to use should be implemented. You have training modalities. Now, as a unit, what training modalities do we use? We use different training modalities, and we have planning meetings. That is the initial stage of planning. Planning means what we are supposed to do in our subsequent training, what we are expected to do. So the initial stage is the planning meeting. Now, after the planning, you have the review meeting. The review meeting helps you to know what you are supposed to do in the in-cluster training, meeting the teachers in their cluster. So the review meeting determines what you are supposed to do in the in-cluster training. You have the in-cluster training. Now we say that since schools are in different places, to gather them in one place is going to be difficult. We're going to meet them in their clusters. That is why you have the in-cluster training. In each region, you have clusters. That is where we go, we meet teachers, and then we train them on issues that you know that they are supposed to know, and we equip them so that by the time they go back to their classroom, they will know what they are expected to deliver. We are supporting digital and blended learning platforms, which include WhatsApp groups, which involves teachers, parents, Mothers Club, and SMC. At the initial stage, we advise all schools to make sure that they open a WhatsApp group. Maybe some schools, or even I can say now, all the schools have started doing it. Open a WhatsApp group in a school, involve the parents there, the SMC committee, the Mothers Club, so that they will know the day-to-day activities that students are doing in a school. It will even help the teacher, because by the time you give homework, since every day they give homework, now parents will know that their child is given a homework. If they are to help them, like those that are educated, they will help. So these WhatsApp platforms really help, because they are there to know, even they don't come to school every day to see the day-to-day activities of the school, but the WhatsApp platform will inform them what the teachers and the students are doing in the class. And that will even help the parents, so that you will know what difficulty your child is facing. And if you can help, you assist and help, because learning doesn't take place in the four corners of the classroom or the school. It goes down to the home. Teachers, they do their extreme best when they are in the school, but at home now is the responsibility of the parent to now take over and see that kids are studying at home. Yeah. Now this is a note which is very important as a unit. Instead acts as the bridge between policy design and classroom implementation. It ensures that teachers are not only aware of intervention strategies, but they are also equipped and supported to apply them effectively. We make sure that as a unit, they are not only aware of the strategies and fold their hands. We make sure that since they are aware of the strategies, they must implement those strategies in their classrooms and in their schools. We have the language rollout plan policy alignment. Let's look at this one. What does this one has for us? The language rollout plan policy alignment says languages includes other languages, of course, will come, the Wolof, the Manjako, the Jola, and so on. Now, all of and other dominated regional languages are also expected to be there, not only the Wolof as it stands. Phase out implementation guided by teacher readiness. Of course, the teachers should be ready for this to continue based on our trainings that we are doing. Availability of learning materials is going to be sufficient as it stands. All MIS schools are having sufficient materials that will help them to carry out their teaching and learning. So material is not a problem here. We have community involvement. Of course, the need for community involvement here is significant. That is why this is a need to call this sensitization. We should not only stop here, but we are giving you a task that when you go back, you call a general meeting so that those who were speculating about whether it's only the Wolof or not, they should be aware. So we are highly banking on you that if you go back to your various communities and schools, you call a meeting so that they can also be put in the picture to know as what is going on. Yeah. Now the role of INSET continues. Develop language-specific training resources. We develop language-specific training resources, resources that are needed in training, a training manual, which will of course guide us in training teachers and head teachers. Partners with language experts and local communities, like the use of Wolof. We need many experts. When it comes to the national language, we need experts so that they will come in. We develop the material together, and after that, when they give us the material, that is what we will use to train teachers and head teachers as to what they are supposed to know. INSET monitors, imparts, and refines approaches. Continuous monitoring always takes place. We do not only train and stop there. We go around and see that teachers are implementing what they have been trained. Of course, in every situation, there is a challenges. So we look at the challenges and mitigation strategies. Now the challenges at the initial stage. You have variability in teacher incompetency. There are different teachers and they have different styles and different ways of delivering lesson deliveries. Some are really appreciating, some are not appreciating. So we look to that. We make sure that you use the right pedagogy to make sure that you teach a lesson in your class as the way you're supposed to teach it. And we look at resistance to change. Obviously, that is happening. That is why we do say that it doesn't necessarily mean that, especially when it comes to the Wolof, it doesn't necessarily mean that you have to be Wolof so that you can teach Wolof. Even if you are not Wolof or you are finding difficulties to speak the language, when you are given the assignment of teaching it, that will even help you to improve your language in Wolof. So resistance to change can be avoided, that whatever happens, because we are in a system that whenever changes occur, we should move with that changes and we go with it. We have student attendance. Now here is very key. And I want all of us to put all hands on decks to make sure that our children are going to school every day. Attendance is key here. And during the analysis of the results, we've seen that attendance was the problem. It's a problem even in some schools. Because students, they don't come to school every day, or some will come, or if their parents are traveling, like mothers, they go with them and so on. I think it's important for a child to have a constant mind. But if you are dragging his or her attention from one place to another, obviously focus will not be there. So we are all expected to put all hands on decks to make sure that children are coming to school every day. Teachers, they play their part. The master play their part. The SMC committee, the mothers club, down to the mothers club. But to the parents, please tell them that students should be coming to school every day. Because if they are not coming to school, what we want to achieve at the end of the day, we will not. This program is meant for them. If they are not coming, what we want to achieve, we will not achieve it. So attendance here is very key. If we go back, let's encourage them to make sure that their kids are coming to school every day. Okay. We have teacher monitoring. This is at the school level. Now this one here is very vital as far as this program is concerned. Monitoring should not only be from the office, even at the school level. Master, your senior teachers should take that responsibility to make sure that they are monitoring these teachers in their classroom. This is not a one-man thing. It's everybody's business, even at the school level. Plan your monitoring schedule, have everything in place. Whenever there is a need to monitor a teacher, the senior teacher or the master should step in and monitor the teacher to see what difficulties they are having. The efforts are also doing their best. They know what they are supposed to do, and the PLs too as well. You see, monitoring helps so that we will know what challenges are they facing. And if we are able to sort out those challenges, we will know what remedy and solutions to give them so that they will be okay with everything. So monitoring is key here. It doesn't only have to stop at the office level, but at the school level as well. Now the mitigations, continuous monitoring and feedback, that one should be going simultaneously. As you are monitoring, you should be giving feedback all the time for improvement. Increment rollout with feedback loops. You have partnership with effective interventions. Since we are partnering with them, we cannot do nothing in their absence. Obviously, it's a collaboration. And in conclusion, but I'm moving fast, right? INSET plays a central role in equipping teachers for effective intervention. They play a very vital role as far as this program is concerned. And these strategies are operationalized through targeted professional development. Obviously, professional development here is very key. That is why, as a unit, whatever programs that come that has to do with training, we go out there and train the teachers, give them all that they are supposed to know. We also follow up to see whether they are being implemented or not. Inclusion of language like Wolof ensures equity and learner inclusion. Now, the Wolof as a national language means to those private schools, every student should take part, all the teachers should take part to make sure that we register a success. Now we have a quote, this is the end, and we believe that when teachers are empowered, obviously children succeed. So our wish, or what we believe in, is when we empower teachers, when we go there and empower teachers, obviously children will succeed in their academic performance. Thank you so very much. This is the end of the presentation. Yeah. But I think you can help me, Mandinka, before I talk again. Yeah. Yeah, from the strategies. Yeah. Okay.
Okay. Katarian dron pro small meta sirin ya ni biam ba kamo tayal. Kawan ni classroom setun nam no dombi no ngawule ngama man do wandi. Kambalul ma do wandi saje mol se active no. It's okay. Good. So konan do INSET it all mo bundal to koma afu nyamen it all marta training na katijalu kalamutandi katijalla londo kafu. So you can make it wala mo Miss framework amba focus wala mo enen Miss la implementation plan ni wala mo hamol moment pour kake Miss ni kono ya e ba make sure la be tama nyama anin fanan comme diverse ila area nyimbe janjan na nyama wala mo ka kuol be chance nyokan ka be ke mirankilin ko because there is multi-dimensional issues. Mayalo janta ka kacha wala mo effective intervention bejang INSET bejang SCAT felejang PNET bejang yule beke blodi nyola ka make sure lafta men na way keno because mo kilinta keno waranto group kilinda mata keno wala mo evidence based wala mo fense taralari mol nyakoto ka foko minam ni misal fe lafta pour ka dinno la la londo la kafo waranto la euro la londo la nyaato tani ka long ate keno la dakolo mo damati fo nyaaye tara loringa kan kaje anin ka suute anin fana be kudol fana bland la kol kono me yalon ayan ka make sure pour ka ka ñin sambano ka sustain. Sustainability is very, very important. Wala mo ka make sure project ko ñing bang ay continue. Ka continue project ko ñin na wo kuma yata baake le. Instead la role la mu ñing fananti ka make sure wo do ku leke miro le fanyo kam plano le landi pour ka je ko sustainability ñin sa keno. Anin fana be ta support di kan ka mol dema ka je ko mol lafta men na way keno. Ni nada training na e ka planning meeting sol sotola wala mo pre-planning janni be meeting ba fon sotola o janni be training sotola e ka meeting ne ida malu ka jibe be mun keno la ye training guide dada wala mo e be training kala nyamen ka o laram bulo landi pour mo be salon training be laraten e ka review meeting wal ke wala mo ni meeting wal do ko keta after ida mal kana si kanyo kacandi ngagnin kala de ba sayin aɓe ñaaɗile abita kukan ba wuranta mantrata kukan ka in clostal fananke wol fanan ka ño makoyle mo pour ka kuwol be sonoyande supporting digital and blended learning platforms wala mo pro katala fanan ka whatsapp group also to inin parents olu inin teachalu ka je ko ka problème ol kacaño kan ka pour be solve no no boɗa je language roll out comme national language ni ba janjan la nyamen banko be fanan kan yow miro fanan soto le and jigita ko apart from all of ni national language dol fanan minala wala kandol fanan minala me yalong be roll out la kata school to tundo tunde kan men ka foje baake be o kan ni tala ka je ko ay use karamu ko pour ka dindol ma koy kela londo ñin kafundi amanke dron ka kawla karande bari ke mako ene mu pruka tubabu karaw ñin karando ay senayema be tijalu fanan encourage la pour ya pare pour ka do ko because ya lon ko karandro man sono ya so fanan beje availability of learning material ba make sure la material solo menu mu karandir jorawti wol fanay taraje ka je ko community lu satelu parents solo be tara e be daye taraje mo be taraje e be expert sol fana ñini kanne wala mo mol men yalong ila londo warata kawolto because ñaaji be ni dara curriculum ye dex officer sotol man ni ka dex officer be jele pular dex officer all of dex officer tawo kan aka fo gambia jang abe yala mo soto curriculum le men yalong itollel kasi kana karawñin ka design kana mbe karandro kala ñaame mbe karan mbe menu topical menu karandila mbe fewol menu kela itollel ka design walla dex official bebe janne and then bebe parerin pour kam blodi ñola ka make sure ngata monitoring impacts ka make sure ka bula kuwol fanan noma ka kuwol kisi ka jibe tical be karandro ke ka ñaamen dendol la karandro fanan bita ka ñaamen fabita kukan ban famantrata kukan comme a fo ñamen dron ko yiba kono fose hello do bandin soto je o hello kono fanan i hakilo be o fanan kanne andi ba kaca kanne ba jibe kan e be ni hello lu be be ma fala ñamen wala mo tical la competency tical la londo to because tical fanan mantra level kili e sita class do gono yatra teaching be pareering karandro e sita class do gono se tical taraje abe kudo la meyalon woni silo manta so be wo bebe hakilo kono be ol dolu problem ol solve la nyame anin ka balan fali wala ngalon ko fali wadam malam be yalon ka kole abake ni ko falindro hada madi wo tanolen falindro mo dolu be je ni ko yal nga falin aka kole so wo fali woni ka balala be wo fanam be hakilo kono le andum ba kata kan pour ka make sure ka molu kalamutandi pour sa falin kata ñaato dinno lanna karamodo o kumayata baake tijalu fanan ke jibe ɓe dow ko ke ka ñaamen andum ka continuer o fananna anen fanan ke kibaro futandi comme like nin tijaɓe dow ko wala itata jibe ide men ya jibe ñandala yeffefu foye faabita kukanne ɓam famantarata kukan so wol kuwol beɓe hakkilo kono andu ba make solal kawol dolu be put in place ka ko kumfa Inset comme na funyamen même marta tital karandire kunya la waranto ila kuolu kafo wala munyindi ko ini the tical mako ila ke fahamu yandi bake bawo ini effective intervention no be ko nyin kono ba make sure ye blol di yola comme nga fo na biamo ko nyamen dula bunda jamal be melu ka kafu nyo kan ka londo siruwan inset cred yeta PNET with other stakeholders, even communication unit, because you'll be able to beni la load lalam. Kwenye kono pruka make sure ka londo yin kafundi na yin Gambia ya. Ko laban lado no kome aita ni nyamen ni teacher sembentu yandi dindolu ka kanyela. Ni teacher sembentu yandala. Do ko kono tin dindolu be kanye ba sotola ila karanying farankon. Yena mala presentation of the Kasupian, inshallah. Assalamu alaikum. Laba. So, the time the menkela drunk, teacher flow member jam. Walmina la ye kudanta itan dinna classroom situation. Alnin dinnu ka menke drunk. Ngalon ko ye pare na sense singe jibe ini mune nata mole. Madam Fat Bojang and Fat Sise, welcome. The floor is yours. Yo. Okay. Let's have 1 or 2, please, because you have one. Okay.
Yes, good afternoon, good morning, colleagues. Once again, we are on our second day for this town hall discussion. I have a question, but I have a point of observation as well. My point of observation is to thank Madam when you were briefly explaining that, because as head we used to have those questions like what Mr. Kanye was talking about. When we started this project, there was rumor around that why government is going to start Wolof dominant language in the country. That's a big rumor. And in fact, it's discourages for parents to see that their children are participating in this project. Although we stood firm very well to explain. But today from here, I can have big reasons to explain to parents, because it's being explained to me clearly that yes, other languages will come. But when they are ready to implement this, it's Wolof material that are on the ground. Very good. That's very clear. All of materials are on the ground. If you want to wait until other languages prepare theirs, time is going, and funding also, there are people who are supporting us. So we cannot, those people cannot wait. But it was Wolof material that are on the ground that caused the MOPSI to start Wolof. Okay? So that is a very good clarity you have made for these members. And then parents are here as well. They should understand that is why all of the languages being added to English to learn them. And the other area is one of the most important strategies that I think has been oversighted by Mr. Barrow, that intervention is using. And in fact, yesterday, the presentation of Mr. Mendy, he featured it here, that their method of assessment, they have one-to-one assessment method, and that's very, very effective, very well. Because what happens is the assessor, the person who is assessing the student is not the person who taught the student. You saw the picture on the screen here the last time Mr. Mendy is presenting. So that is a very good strategy. But among his strategy, I think he has oversight. He didn't bring it then, because what happened in that one-to-one question, after the assessment, the focal person, the efforts, and for him, therefore, intervention, effective intervention, they share this information to all the stakeholders. So, and parents are key in that. That's one thing that I have been complaining as a head. I say, well, when first time I asked my senior teacher, you people, you are not giving a report to the students. They say, no, we are doing ourselves very good. This point is very important because this is a person who is interviewing a student on the learner achievement areas. And this is not the person who taught the child. You see that these two areas are going to be very interesting. A teacher will teach, giving the material that you should present to the child. When the child is ready, somebody will come and assess the child on the material that you have taught the child to see whether the child understood or not. So there we have to cover weak areas and strength areas. These are the weak areas that we discuss, as he has mentioned in our review meetings and our closer training. Yes, in class so and so, Fatima's class, children have done very well in mathematics, but there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 children who were down. What is Fatu going to? What strategy Fatu is going to use to improve those 5 children in her class to do well in numeracy? That's a very important area. In Ibrahim's class, they fail more in English. What is Ibrahim going to do to improve these children? So that strategy also going to be discussed at review meeting and our cluster training. And then in Wolof, you go to Penda's class, you found that 10 people are down in Wolof. What is Penda going to do to improve them? When this, we had experts from Senegal some times back, from the MOPSI came with that to our school, and they interviewed heads and they went to the class. That was one old dad. I think one doctor. He asked me, "How many of your teachers are Wolof?" I said, 2, 3. Because he was amazed when he went to the classroom to find how the teachers are teaching all of the students, and they are not Wolof bias sort of. But they have found good number of them who are teaching very well Wolof. See, he went to ask me, how many of your teachers are Wolof? I say about 3, I think 3 to 4 teachers out of 8 classes. All the rest are not Wolof. He said, yes, well, they are really trying very well. So these are areas that are very important. And what he is saying that if this is shared by the parents, report form is prepared. At least this time around, they ask us to, as heads, to prepare temporal one so that the parents will come and see their children's performance. Like normal school, grade 1 to 6, we have report forms. Report forms will tell the parents how your child is excelling in the school. All right, down or up, you have to know, you as a parent, to improve your child together with the teachers. So this project also.